What's up guys, it's that Panda guy. I'm here again with another video, and today we're looking at some DarkSeal footage. Alright, this one should have been Region 1 versus 3 versus 14, and this was honestly a pretty good DarkSeal. I think this was one of the more, I would say, fun ones. I've had like a lot of DarkSeals where either, and I think like having, I wouldn't say like even matchmaking, even like it's like having a hard opponent, right? Like we had Region 14, and Region 14 are pretty active. They have really good like numbers and stuff, like activity wise and stuff. So field fighting them for like our metro and stuff, we could do it for a while, but we weren't able to do it forever, and we did end up losing our metro. But it was really fun, because these guys were just coming in hitting hard, even given the fact that they didn't have like a massive amount of T6 players. Those are the type of groups that you want to kind of be a part of, you want to kind of fight against, and it's just a lot of fun, right? And it's not someone who's like, you're not fighting a bunch of mega whales versus a bunch of like free-to-play players. This is one reason I say, like, nobody enjoys really bad matchmaking, not the whales, not the people who are steamrolling you, not the people who are getting steamrolled, just because it's like, you want to come in for fun, you want to come in for a good fight. If they're not able to give that fight because they're incapable of doing so, they're too weak compared in a comparative scale, it's like, this is like, what a waste of time. It kind of happens with islands sometimes. I mean, you see it a lot with like whale alliances, right? Getting into a bracket where they have nobody to really compete against. And I think I'm honestly going to do a video talking about that, or just whale alliances in general, the ups and downs. And I think one of the downsides to being in a whale alliance is, for example, if you went into island raid, right? You could be a 20 billion alliance, you could be a 10 billion alliance, whatever. But let's say you're a 20 billion alliance. You go in, you have one enemy, right, who's actually comparable to your strength, and that's if you even get an enemy comparable to your strength. And then the rest of the alliances there are incapable of really doing much, putting up much of a fight, or doing anything. And it's like, I think when you kind of go into a bracket, for example, when you see a 3 billion alliance, right, when you went to island raid, you saw a bunch of other 3 billion alliances, right, and you don't have some in massive, I wouldn't say you're weak there, but you don't have the biggest sway in the bracket, right? There's obviously a lot of alliances there that can do just as much damage as you, and it makes it really intense. It makes you have to plan more, it makes it have to be, it just makes stuff more intense. And I kind of feel that same way about DarkSeal, right? You want to have an enemy who's actually capable of kind of putting up the same numbers as you, or putting up the same weight class, just in general. By the way, I've always found RPG to be like kind of insane when it comes to just hitting whoever they want. Like, I never understood them hitting, like, for example, me personally, if, I'm in RPG shoes, probably wouldn't rally myself at like 130 mil or so. I mean, even if I can do it, even if I can burn the player, it's more likely than not that I won't be trading positive, or if I do trade positive, it's just barely. And it's like, at that point, you're kind of going into DarkSeal, and even with 85% returns, you don't want to have a bunch of deads that like are like feeling low value, you know what I mean? So I always try to go for really good trades if I'm going to rally anybody, unless there's just another reason behind it. So during DarkSeal, I actually miss out on a lot of footage, like rallying, right? Like I like last DarkSeal, which this isn't last DarkSeal. This is like 2 or 3 DarkSeals ago. Last DarkSeal, I rallied maybe 20, 30, 40 bases, right? And I had some pretty good rallies, but I didn't record none of it. And the reason is, like, maybe I should record this on my phone more if I'm going to do rallies on bases. Because, the footage you're seeing right now is on my PC, but I use Twitch Studios because I don't actually have a proper recorder. And what ends up happening is with, sorry, I'm like some of my words. With Twitch Studios, I can't like pause it. Like you just record, right? It's kind of the same as like streaming. You either like stop or stop streaming. You know what I mean? So just in general, it's like bleh. And maybe I don't want to bore you guys with like a ton of rallies, right? Because I feel like maybe field fighting or something is usually something more entertaining to kind of watch, all the field fighting. But then when you just have rallies, right, it's like a base just getting smacked. Maybe if I do like a collage of reports and I just forget the rallies, or I show snippets of the rally. If somebody's watching this and you actually want to comment, because I swear I sometimes ask these questions and you guys never comment, okay? But do you guys think I should just show the rallies? Do you think I should just do like a collage of the reports and forget like the rallies, or just like maybe snippets of the rally? Also, this guy is a maniac. He was sitting outside my base. I like popped Lewis on my wall, and I kept taking him off, I think, for like Tom or something, because I think one, I wanted the extra healing, and two, I didn't want them trying to soak up my AoE. But their marches were just getting melted. Like, you see this rider march right here? Boop, down to zero. Also, I don't know why these guys rallied me so much. Maybe they just love me. Maybe they wanted to. Maybe they were like, oh yeah, Panda's gonna do a video on this. I'm sorry, by the way, if you guys are thinking that and you haven't seen this video for like months and you were like, oh damn, Panda didn't even make a freaking video. Well, I did, okay, and you guys, I'll show you guys rallying me. They're a bit crazy for that, considering this account I think is like 120 million, and it's not like these guys are whales. So I was kind of surprised they rallied me as much as they did, but they do. So props there. I will say, even though I trade positive on these rallies, my hospital does progressively fill up, and although that seems pretty minuscule, I can only heal so much every event, right? Especially considering that I participate every Dark Seal, I participate every island, right? So honestly, them doing this is, I would say it's a good thing for them because they can slowly put me out of commission. So when it comes down to like a metro fight or something, I will only be able to metro fight for example, maybe one time my hospital fills or two times my hospital fills. And I think deads, they suck obviously, but deads only matter so much as long as these guys can still field fight and stuff. And if they're spreading it between themselves, filling my hospital does do much more of an impact than not. Especially given the fact that I'm one of the only like T6 players, so my field fighting contributes quite a bit. Also, they were trying to rally my other accounts over here I was filling myself with. They kept trying, and I'm not sure why. I mean, maybe they didn't care because I kept popping the shield, and every time the rally hit, I would normally send out my troops unless the player rallying me was like, weak enough for me to kind of take really good trades on. So I would just send all the troops out, insta burn, then I get my shield popped again if I wanted to do a rally or I wanted to, get Battle Fury, whatever the case was. It was just weird. Also, I don't know if these guys did this on purpose, but I hate taking freaking range rallies, man. Like when I get an infantry rally on me or infantry rally set on me or something, that is like the best feeling in the world because I had it happen to one of my accounts, right? And that account obviously is Peterson and stuff. And it wasn't this island, but I did take the inf rally, right? And my wall only dropped by, I think it was like 10 to 20% over the period of like 30 minutes before they actually canceled the rally. And my trades obviously were good, but the reason is like, not only does it kind of drag out the rally, which I will actually say, I saw someone getting, someone got hit outside of, DarkSeal and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they got hit with our infantry rally. And low-key, infantry rallies can be more deadly if you can, I guess, milk it for a longer period of time. You know what I mean? Because if you can keep that base getting hit for, let's say, 20 minutes instead of 10 minutes, where that base like just drops really quickly, and like the damage you're doing is good in that short amount of time, but long term, you're not doing a lot of damage overall. That infantry rally can slowly milk kills out of you, but the issue is it just really depends on how good your healing is in comparison, right? Because obviously, when it came down to for example, an infantry rally, you can usually outheal the damage they're doing. One, because infantry troops are just really weak. Or not weak, I mean like they do very minimal damage in comparison to like a range unit, right? And obviously, it just kind of drags out the report longer and it makes like I feel like it does more. It can do more damage, especially when you're kind of fighting someone with Peterson. That really does depend, right? Like it can be counterproductive, obviously, if you're, rallying someone with the Peterson and that makes them heal a lot faster. Because obviously, if their wall's able to stay at 80% a lot longer, that's going to do you more damage than good, right? Because obviously, a range rally is able to drop you really fast because it's able to outdamage your Peterson's healing. Well, in this case, it's not the case, right? And if you're able to kind of have all your lightly wounded troops instantly healing every single round, every single batch, right? You're going to be kind of able to maintain that wall for quite a while. And in turn, that also means that my troops are basically at their peak the whole time, right? Because even if I have, let's say, 100,000 of my troops get actually injured, right? That's only 100,000 of my troops that are actually out of commission. Also, we did end up rallying a lot of those bases kind of after the fact, after they stopped rallying our bases. But like I said, I didn't show that here. But you guys get my point, right? Like a range rally will drop you much faster, even if it doesn't like actually injure more, and it just lightly, it sends a lot to the lightly wounded, whatever. Infantry's just doing too little damage in enough time, right? And that can be like kind of, like I said, counterproductive if they're able to kind of maintain a full wall and all that. Also, I got a lot of lag during this. I do end up crashing during the metro fight, and that was really unfortunate. Like my PC was bugging out, so I ended up having to swap to my phone, and that was really frustrating, like I said, because the thing is, I usually during DarkSeal fights, I have like 10 plus accounts open, right? And I'll usually use those accounts to fill Metro while I'm field fighting, right? And I'm kind of making room for them, and I'm trying to just make sure that this can last as long as possible, and I can, milk as many points as I need out of this. And my internet where I'm freaking living right now is so garbage. I really want to move, and that's hopefully I can freaking move. But yeah, this was like a really hard fight. You see right here, these guys came up with freaking numbers. They have two really active alliances here. And these guys, man, just honestly props to R4W and just the other Region 14 Alliance as well. Like, these guys come in freaking hard. They got, like I said, really good activity. And I will say, they were trying to double rally the Metro. I would not recommend that to them because not only was the second rally captain, I think I can't completely remember. I don't know if they were at not T6, that or they just were sending not the best heroes, right? Like, they were sending an infantry rally. That infantry rally was trading vastly negative, and you'll see it in a report soon. This range rally right here was doing some pretty good damage on us, but I don't think they were able to trade positive, and the only reason they might have been able to trade positive is because we were struggling so hard to fill and, struggling with field presence. And honestly, that's just something they're really good at. If they fight like an alliance on their own like strength scale, or a region on their own strength scale, they can generally overwhelm them just through this kind of number, you know what I mean? The numbers here, just because they got really good active fighter base, right? It's so hard to find a group like this where they got really good active fighters. They're just everybody's fighters, right? Because there's so many regions where, although, you might find a, fighter alliance or a bunch of fighters, there's usually a lot of players who don't participate in the fights, usually sit out. And I mean, that's the same with even Region 1, right? Like, not everybody here fights, or at least some of the alliances just don't fight. And it can be kind of frustrating, but it is what it is, right? And we'll go through the reports here and you can check it out. Nasty. You see, the second one was disgusting. I think they try to double rally again. Maybe the second time it performs a little better. I will say taking really good trades is probably hard for 14 here, though. I mean, like, although we don't have any whales, they don't have any whales either. And just overall having the 3 million troops in Metro, plus I think our garrison captain was just pretty strong here. We were able to kind of just have a really strong defense, but like I said, where we fall off is that field activity. If they can kind of overwhelm us, cut off our reinforcements, this makes it more of an impossible task for us to really do much here. Also, you see me, I'm avoiding using Lewis. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been using Victor a lot, at least with like my main garrisons and stuff. Victor is freaking insane. Like, this dude's damage is really good. Not only the fact of that, it's also like the non-AoE is pretty nice. I was doing this thing on towers in my last island where I would have one Peterson and Lewis, and then I would have my Peterson and Victor taking the rally for the main majority of the time. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the lag there. I just showed that so you guys could understand I really was lagging and I ended up crashing. But with Peterson and Lewis, what I would do is I would swap that second garrison captain in every time marches got around, because people would try to sit on the tower to be, I guess, like maybe block off reinforcements, or people would just sit near the tower because they were like, oh, there's no AoE here. And boom, I would swap on Lewis. I would do some really good damage, really probably screw those players over. And then I would swap back to my Peterson and Victor when, because sometimes they would try to set up one troops around the tower to like milk the AoE and whatnot, and I was not playing that game. Okay, you gotta get those single target heroes a lot, especially when people you're fighting really smart enemies who are actually savvy to that kind of stuff, because there's so many people who I fought who do not understand how the Lewis AoE stuff works, and I did upload a video recently on that, so hopefully you guys can check that out and maybe learn a little bit more about that and take advantage of that and maybe screw me over in the future with that. But yeah, but also, I don't know if you guys noticed the like Tom and a Dut rally here. The infantry on infantry just doesn't work that well, especially when you're fighting Peterson. That being said, I'm going to end the video off here. My video is about to come to an end. I do appreciate you guys as always for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. And you guys have a great day or night though. And I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, enjoy.